Welcome back, everybody, to PSGL. We are here for the F5 division. This is round 3 for the Belgian Grand Prix here at the Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps. So welcome back, everyone, to PSGL. As I said, we're here for the PlayStation Division's F5, and this is Season 31. Let's quickly talk about this track. It's got 20 turns to make up a circuit length of 7 kilometers. It's also got 2 DRS zones to help encourage overtaking. The best is going to be down the Kemmel Straight into Les Combes, and that's going to be a great place to make an overtake. So with the track details aside, let's get into the racing here today in PSGL. So we got around 16 minutes remaining of this qualifying session, and we're preparing for the 3rd round of the season. We're kicking it into gear, and we're getting ready for an exciting race here in Belgium. Now, I do want to mention that our title sponsor for this season is GT Omega, and you can use the code PSGL at checkout on the GT Omega website for 5% off on GT Omega products. Now, in the comms booth for today, it's myself, Formula Jonah, and joining me for the first time of us commentating together and making his return is Evil Dragon. Welcome back, my friend. How are you feeling as we prepare for the race here in Spa?
Well, I am back, and well, thank you very much for the nice warm introduction. That was very good, I will say. And well, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a fantastic evening. Of course, Spa first hosted a Formula 1 race, well, back in 1950. This circuit opened its doors in the early 1920s. It used to be a road circuit that went around, of course, I think back then, 14 kilometres of road circuit that wrapped itself around all the way from the Common all the way up to just the exit of the Stavolo, and of course Paul Ferrer, as it's more commonly known these days. I keep calling it Stavolo 1 and 2 because that's what Murray Walker used to say, and it's just stuck in my head. But we've got straightaway cars beginning of that, and the first car, that will be Van der Berglen. So he's just coming through the last corner, through the chicane, or the bus stop chicane, though it's not really a bus stop anymore because it kind of isn't a bus stop chain, but never mind. Down towards the source, down into 3rd gear, chuck it into the right-hander, and then get the power straight back on, up to 4th, into 5th. Then let the revs all the way up to 7th, then towards the infamous El Rouge Radion complex. Chuck it left as you rise over the crest, and then all the way up the hill, up onto the top, and down the Camel Straight. A little bit of a kick to the right with DRS flat open, 200 miles an hour. Build the speed up all the way to about 212, 213 miles an hour. He doesn't quite do it, 210 as he comes down into the comp. A little bit lethargic on the front end there as he can't quite get it stopped as he comes to the exit of Le Combe, and then all the way down to Brussels. Ooh. A little bit too wide and is invalidated straight away. So, ironically, going to Kyle, who is right behind him. I think it's Alex actually right behind him. It's Alex right behind him, actually, as he comes through the exit of Brussels down into Speaker's Corner, or now known as X, and that very much on the limit. Now down towards Pilgrim, turn 12. This is the lowest point on this circuit. Very easily got on the curb and have a big swap run. Of course, that curve, not like that in real life, but on the game, it's there. Down into Campers again, another 2 corners, which very easy to snatch a car up if you're not careful. Ride it pretty well. Talking of that, there is an Alpha Tauri going backwards through there. Ironically, exactly what I said, you go through there as well. Down through Stavolo into Paul Ferrer, turn 16 into the 3rd sector, purple sector 2. That, unsurprising, is the only driver currently that is flying a lap down towards Blanchimont. 200 miles an hour, chuck it in, hope the car sticks, yes it will, and then down into the bus stop chicane, turn 19 and 20, almost a double hairpin in essence, right then left. Let the car run a little bit wide on the exit if you do, and take the straightest line up to line, and that's going to be a 143.6, and will it be immediately surpassed by his teammate? Yes it will, a 146.5, and who else is going to go and ruin the day of them then? So crossing the line, a few cars got. I don't see anyone so far jumping straight to the top, apart from the Aston Martin. When I say doesn't jumping up the top, immediately jumps up to the top.
Yeah, Victor setting the pace here for Aston Martin with a 143.3. I expect some even faster lap times from the Austrian Grand Prix winner, and I'm assuming there's going to be some more drivers setting some quick lap times, but Aston Martin and McLaren, the 2 only teams to go out and set a lap time out on track here today. But so far, it's going pretty well for everybody out there, but you could see, as now, I think that is the Haas now going second with a 143.3, so putting it up into the top 2 on the grid. So I expect expect a few more drivers to go even faster, though, as we see, I think, a Ferrari, Slimbo, coming to the line. Now, he goes fastest overall, jumps into the 142s with a 142.8 and goes around 5/10ths quicker than Victor. Very good lap time from the Scuderia Ferrari team. And remember, viewers, Mosey won the last race as he now goes second as I say that, and Ferrari lead away here in Belgium. So could they be qualifying on pole once again here in Belgium and possibly taking another victory? Maybe Mosey will take the lead of the championship, and that's a very good transition because we got to talk about it. The championship leader, Luca, is not racing today. What's your thoughts on this, Evil?
Well, that's going to be a big situation. He hasn't won a race so far this season. Like I mentioned before the stream, he's been very consistent. This is going to be his opportunity, really, not to score any points because, well, he's not here, so that is his opportunity. The two title rivals, by the way, and that being Victor on Mosey, they are both have had 0 points in the first and second race, respectively, so both of those guys are having ups and downs. So the top three in the championship all having issues. Fourth in the championship, that is Lars. He is in the Haas right now. He's always got an opportunity. Where is he?
I don't think he's racing, actually.
I don't think he's here either, you know. I totally know he's not here. So we've got BJU and we've got Sam Fioretta then in for the Haas team. So he's not here either. So that is going to really play into the likes of Victor, who is, I believe, here. Yes, he's currently in third, and Mosey, who is in second so far. So those two are going to be the dark horses. In terms of the constructors, by the way, and they haven't really been spoken to much, that is the Red Bull team, and that is Ryan, and also, that's going to be his teammate as well. That is Ryan. Now, where's his teammate? And that, of course, is Luca as well. Ryan, the only Red Bull here today, I believe, is he not?
Yeah, that's correct. He's the only Red Bull on track. So the championship leaders, this might be a little bit of a downside for them in this race, but we'll see how this works out. Ryan might be able to score some points for the Red Bull team today and get them to hopefully continue their lead into round 4. But let's see how this works out. Red Bull could be under pressure from the other teams as in Aston Martin, who have 2 cars today, Julio and Victor. And Victor's actually on an outlap, getting ready to set another lap time. So that's going to be interesting to see if Aston Martin will be able to jump up into the top of the championship as well. So we'll see how that works out. But I've noticed not a lot of drivers have gone out on track to set a lap time. I think they're out on track, but they haven't been able to set lap times. Is that down to invalidations or possibly not heating the tires enough? What's your thoughts on all this?
On this track, I've seen a few people already going wide out of the calm down into X corner. It's so easy to do. This circuit bites you very easy. It's not as forgiving as it used to be because, of course, back then it used to be gravel and grass everywhere. Nowadays, it's starting to come back. The gravel reintroduced, of course, this year for the MotoGP, which is hopefully going to be hosted here in the near future for bike racing. But let's see what they can do. A little bit twitchy, by the way. Looking very good, meanwhile. I'm riding on board with San Fierro right now, and he just set a purple sector 1. Purple sector 2 as well. Now, of course, we don't know if that is truly purple, but I'm going to say it is because we never know on this game. It says purple. It could be blue. It could be green. It could be anything, but 2 very good sectors. So let's see. 3 Blanchim on 200 miles an hour. A little bit slower than you've seen the likes of Simba and Mosey doing. They're going to get a little bit quicker down into here, so he's definitely geared the car for the corners with the downforce, but through he comes through the last corner, takes it a little bit more shallowly than the other drivers across the line right now. Goes second, then 142.9, so that a 10th off the top spot. Mosey a further 2 and a bit temps down, so he's going to have a lot to look forward to as well. As I now look down the rest of the field, we've got Giuliano on a lap time, but I believe is he going to finish it off? Is he coming into the pit lane as he comes down into the chicane, into the right, into the left? He's going to finish his lap off right now. He's got a 1 minute 42 to beat for him. It'll be good if he gets himself into around about 4th. The answer is only good enough for 9th so far. Next up across the line, we will have, I believe, we've got the Alfa Romeo, which I've gone to right now. We've got the McLarens on the outlap, so the Alfa Romeo through the last corner, Rebels up the road. A little bit wide right there for him across the line as he does so. Goes up to P3 for Small Bulls, and that is a very decent lap time for him as well. Next up across the line, I believe it's going to be Catabon to begin his outlap. Len I believe we've got, I think some of the McLarens beginning their out lap, the other McLaren on a hot lap. So a few people on lap, a few people starting lap, Jonah, but so far Ferrari, really, the top four is all the Ferrari-powered teams.
It is, yeah. Ferrari looking really strong with all their teams up there. Very good lap times from Smalley and Sanfudia. I was very impressed by both their lap times. And you know, another thing too is that Smalley, he was incredibly fast in the Miami race. Got onto the soft compound tires towards the end and was able to pretty much go through the field and claim his first podium of the season. So he's really coming into this Belgian Grand Prix a little bit more confident, I'd say, than the start, as he's got that first podium and now possibly looking for a second or even higher, which would be the race victory.
Yeah, it's going to be crucial to see where they can go. And I mean, you get a victory, you've got to start getting the momentum. Talking on momentum, I'm looking at Van der Berg. I don't know how he's not invalidated right now, because he went very wide. Meanwhile, Victor is currently in P2 in the Aston Martin, so he's finally dispatched the Ferrari 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it's a Ferrari, Mercedes, Ferrari, Ferrari, Ferrari. Then guess what? It's a Mercedes, then it's a Ferrari. And then it's the line of Mercedes-powered cars all the way down to 12th position. Then comes the first of the Honda-powered cars. But then see if Van der Berg can go and display some of those. Yes, he does, up to P6 so far. Coming up right behind him, meanwhile, is, I believe, one of the Red Bulls as well, and that is Ryan to begin his flying lap as well. And the Red Bull team, so far, like I said, leading Constructors' Championship, they are going to have an uphill battle, because Williams, 1 point behind, have got 6 and 13 points for the pair of them last week. Ferrari got 19 points last week after 0 in the first round. So the Constructors is a yo-yo right now, Jonah, and you could switch any which way at any moment, because with a long season like this and there's 11 rounds, it's all to play for.
It really is, yeah. We're only into the third race of the season, so there still is many different changes. Meanwhile, Mosey goes up into 4th position and puts that second Ferrari up into the top 4 now and into the 142s as well. So Ferrari still setting the pace here in Belgium. The question is, can they hold on to the pole position here today? Because Victor has looked very quick, a 142.89. The difference between first and second is so close, and we could see a change in pole position between these two, and we also could see anyone else qualify on pole, and that's what makes this race here in Spa so incredibly exciting, because it could be anybody on pole position. And also, like you mentioned, this championship could change in a completely different direction, because first off, the Constructors' Championship is going really in a different direction, you know, than what we thought at the start of the season, and the Drivers' Championship is going to explode as well, because Luca, the championship leader, is not here today. So this could change, as we have actually Slimbo leaving the session. That's currently the pole position sitter, so hopefully he rejoins. It seems like it's maybe like a lag issue or something like that, but this could be also changing things. If Slimbo doesn't rejoin, he might not have a chance of going for pole position, because Victor's going to go out again, most likely, and set a better lap time, and Slimbo won't have anything to challenge against him because he's not in the lobby.
Yeah, indeed, that's going to be crucial to see. Hopefully he will get it. Meanwhile, top 4 below, separated by just over a 10th of a second. I don't think we've seen that bot for a little bit. Sam Ferreira currently in 3rd. He, I believe, is he one of the debutants right now? I don't think he's raced. Having a look at the standings at the Hasses, he is a reserve driver, so he's doing an incredible job for the reserve for the Haas right now. Currently in P3, Mosey in P4, Smaller in 5th. Looking down the rest of the field, we've got Trap Formula. He's invalidated his lap time again. We've also got the other Alfa Romeo coming through the last couple of corners right now. He would dearly love to be up near his teammate right now, and he would very much like a 5th or a 6th. So far comes to the line. Bit of a cloud forming up above, but he goes so far P6. You know, I said he'd love to be near his teammate. Well, that you can't get better than that, because he's literally alongside him. That's exactly what you need to do. Is we now look to see, I think, Joe, we just got a little bit of a wait before the final stop, as we've got a Mercedes coming out, the final laps here in qualifying. So far, Schlimbo is currently on pole from Victor in 2nd. Sam is in 3rd from Mosey. Then it comes the Alfa Romeo pair, and it's quite, I do not know who's going to get this pole position. The entire field separated so far by under a second.
Absolutely incredible. This is going to be mind-blowing, and we are not ending anytime soon with this qualifying session because we still have around 2.5 minutes remaining of this qualifying session. Can Ferrari stick it on pole position, or will it be someone else? And I just got to mention, what a lap from Baki there, up into 6th position, joins his teammate on the 3rd row of the grid, and that was exactly what Alfa Romeo were looking for, and that really puts a foot down and says Alfa are in for this podium with both of their cars, actually. So this is looking really good. Meanwhile, pretty much... Oh, go ahead. What's happened?
Haas. There's a Haas off somewhere at turn number 1. I don't know what Haas it is. Is that Badger?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is. So he's dropped it. I don't know how he's dropped it, because I think it was he just coming out the pit lane. No, he's started his flying up. So he's dropped it at turn 1. And, I mean, look at the traffic so far down the Camel Straight. I think there's, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them right now, so they're going to have to keep each other all in good order right now. We've got just over 1 minute and 40 seconds to go, so they've got to get on with it as well. And let's look at them all slowing. Oh, Morcon, was that an Aston Martin to the Williams? And these guys, they're all really getting buzzed up. This is a little bit messy right now because just look at them all. It's like a train of cars. They're all trying to stream through and get timing. I think some are on hot laps. The Williams, that is Catterson's just completely stopped. He's trying to get out the way of everyone. That is that is a way of getting out. He's retired, actually. Never mind. I was about to say that's one way of getting out the way, but he's out now, retired from the session. But who is on their flying lap right now? Well, it's certainly going to be Bazza because he is not lap time. We've got the first of 2 McLarens on a lap. We've got Giuliano on a lap time. We've got Slash on a lap time right now. Slash the closest to the finish line. He was in that massive amount of traffic. 62-100s up as the clouds starting to come over. A little bit of dark skies here above Belgium. We know the weather can change on a flash. It should be good for the last 2 and a bit minutes. We've got a one of the cars. I think that's a Mercedes just up the road. I think that's actually of AlphaTauri. But through the chicane, right then, left, and let's see where Slash could go. This would be very good if he get himself up near 7th position. The answer is most certainly only good enough for 11th for him. Next up cross line will be, I believe it's going to be Kyle, if my memory serves correctly, to finish his lap time. Don't quote me on that one. I think everyone else is starting their lap time. Giuliano actually on lap time. He's purple in sector 2, so this very good for him as he now comes down into Blanchiment. 201, 2, 3, 4 miles now. Back down to 199. He takes a little bit more curve. Takes a little bit more of a tighter line down there. Scrubs off a bit too much speed. That might cost him. Right, then left. Take the shortest line up to the line, and let's see, can he get himself on pole position? Would dearly love so. Only good enough for 4th position for him then. Next up across the line, that is going to be Kyle, and he's 2 tenths up in sector 3. Cross the line right now for him, and he's good enough for P9. So they're all starting to jump up the order right now. Next up, we got Marchio as he comes down into Blanchiment. And let's see where he can go, but he's invalidated his lap time. So, who will be next, Lennon? Who
Smalley
is going to get this pole?
Yeah, I think Smalley is next up on his lap. He's coming through Blanchiment now. And to be honest, to answer your question, I don't know. Anybody could get pole position here. Giulio with a very good lap time. Aston Martin in the hunt for pole position because Victor's still on a lap, and now he's actually retired from the session. So Victor, as I say that, is no longer in the hunt for pole position. Smalley to the line now goes on pole for the Belgian Grand Prix by 0.2 of a second. What a lap from the Alfa Romeo driver as Smalley takes provisional pole today. But can anyone else beat him to the line? Let's just find out. Vandenberg comes round the final corner to the line now for the Italian team. He goes into 7th position, is not improving into the top 5. Mosey has invalidated, so that's it for him. The question now is, will anybody else improve on their times? I don't think so. The only other drivers on laps are Bas Bremer, who comes to the line now, goes P8 for the Alpine team, and I think Slash is the final driver to set a lap time, but I think he is done as well. So I think with an incredible lap from the Alfa Romeo driver, Smalley Balls is on pole position by 0.2 of a second with a 142.6. What a lap time, and that also means it is an all Ferrari powered front row of the grid here at Spa.
Yeah, and Simbo as well. Like I said, he invalidated his lap time. Now, what happened to Victor? I just noticed, by the way, because I was on board with Slimbo as well. He dropped it out of the right left, and that is the right left. I always keep calling it Piff Paff, but it's now Campers, of course. Used to be Piff Paff back in the olden days, now Campers out at 14. That same place Giovinazzi dropped it. If you remember in 2019, I think it was 2019 or 20 actually, one of the 2 years, I think it was 2020, he dropped it, but Smalley there snatching it, then the Scotsman outdoes the Englishman, then comes the Hungarian from San Giuliano in 4th and 5th, the Italian Omosi in 6th, ahead of the Dutch, all 7 and 8, Bacchi in 9th, ahead of the Englishman in 10th, the Italians in 11th, and then of course we've got Marco in 12th, the Spanish in 14th, ahead of the Finnish driver of Ruti Gullet in 14th, ahead of Slas, the Saudi Arabian of Trap Formula in 16th, ahead of Ryan Lakitu down in 18th. A disappointing lap time for those four as well. Didn't set lap times. Catterson at the back row of the grid, but the top 10 separated by just under a 7/10 of a second. So that is all going to be played for. The question is, though, right now, Jonah, is the weather going to be nice for us? Is it going to rain? Is it going to be sunshine? Now, I wouldn't mind a nice bit of sunshine above us right now.
You know, that would be good, but we know Belgium as well can have a lot of different weather. Let's find out. We're coming to the grid now. And remember, viewers, no formation lap as well. And it is a full rain conditions. It is full wets, actually. No, it's not, because we can see the Mercedes garage right there with the intermediate compound tires. So it is a rainy day here in Belgium, unfortunately. That means no DRS. But, of course, we love rain races. And, of course, Belgium, Canada. Oh.
Is that a session issue right there? Yep, session issue, desync. So it's happened again then. So look, they're all leaving. So there's been a minor issue. Now, I hope they said it so it's a wet race now, because I'm going to be very disappointed. But there we go. So there will be a lobby restart. Absolutely right there. Everyone has left the session. Now, this is I've not seen this for a long time, having the countdown timer glitch. So that's unfortunate. That's taking a little bit of burn, but we get a few moments then just to breathe and catch our breath. And, well, we can look at the entire soaking Belgium Grand Prix, and you can all go back. I can't remember, when was the last time? Well, it was last year when it was the last wet race. But you can call that a wet race? I mean, it wasn't really a race, was it? I mean, it counted, I suppose, but it wasn't really a race in real life, of course, Belgium. But, well, we'll get the race going, but we'll very much have a restart. But, nonetheless, whilst we just wait for them to go, we get underway. Is anyone still in the session? I'm wondering. I think they've all left, actually. There's an Aston Martin, at least, in the server, and a Red Bull, but we definitely will be getting a restarted server. So that's a bit of a shame, indeed. There we go, straight invite to the new server. So a slight technical hiccup right there, Jonah. But nonetheless, we'll get back going again. So we'll say there's a red flag for too wet.
Yeah, we'll say it is a red flag. You know, it's unfortunate that there was a lobby issue there, but it's all good. We will get back into the session momentarily and get the racing going. I was actually, while you were talking about the rain, I was trying to think, when was the last Belgian real-life Grand Prix that was wet? Of course, it was 2021, but that was, I don't know if that's really considered a full-on race. You know what I mean there. And I think we got to go back to 2016, I want to say. That was the last rain race. But correct me if I'm wrong. Was that the last Grand Prix?
No, that was dry, because Kevin Magnussen, remember, had a big off there, and it was in the dry.
Oh, that's right.
I'm thinking to go back, so was it, 2010 was a little bit wet, but it wasn't really soggy. So I'm thinking to go back to the last race where it was completely wet. I'm having to go early 2000s, I can't remember, so I'd say 1998 springs to mind, 98, 97, the only ones that could really come to mind of it being completely wet. So unless I'm missing someone, and do let me know in the comments if I've missed something, but I think it was 98 the last time. It was a full, completely wet washed race, and well, we know what happened then. Of course, 2021 happened, and it's not really a race. I mean, but to be fair, but I've not seen too many completely full from start to finish wet races in my time. I mean, I've seen it before where it suddenly had a mass downpour, of course. I more infamously remember it was in Formula 3, and it was 2010, where it suddenly had a downpour towards Turn 1. I remember on that day about 7-8 cars flying off the road down there. It was very reminiscent of 2007, and that was, of course, the European Grand Prix, if you cast your memory back to what happened that day. But in terms of Belgium, in terms of it raining, last year and before that, 1998 is what I can certainly remember. I don't know if you can remember any more recently.
I think 2009 was a rain race.
Right.
It was dry.
Yeah.
I significantly remember some wet tires in the 2009 Belgian Grand Prix, but that may have been qualifying.
It might have been 2010.
It might have been 2010.
I think, I mean, it was very slippery condition in 2010, so I think 2010 started wet but ended up going dry. But 2009, that was the race, of course, where everyone retired pretty much on that one, of course, down into Le Mans. We had Button off at Hamilton. We had, of course, well, issues for everyone, really, because there was an absolutely big accident. Grosjean was involved. I remember it was, I think, Bluemi or Alcatrari involved that day. I'm taking my mind back. It was quite a while. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in the wall. I remember Jonathan Ledyard going on about it, of course. So that was then 2008, a race that was wet as well. So there's another one that comes to mind. Started dry, ended up finishing wet. So there's a lot of racing with changeable conditions. This race, will it be changeable conditions? Hopefully, because it did, of course. It was wet when we were in the lobby. And if they are going to be playing nice, which I hope they do, it should be a wet race.
I think it should be a wet race, at the start at least. The question will be, like you mentioned, will it transition towards a dry conditions or at least lighter rain conditions? That will have to be decided later on in the Grand Prix. But I would hope so. You know, I'd like some changeable conditions. I think that would be quite interesting to see the transition from the intermediate compound tires towards a dry compound tire of either hard, medium, or soft. So we'll see how this works out. It's going to be interesting. But like we have been mentioning many times, Spa in real life has hosted many different exciting races in the past. For the rain, you know, 2008, I think you mentioned, and 2010, of course, 1998, where 13 cars retired on the first lap, which was one of the biggest crashes in Formula One history. Now, I do want to mention, while we're in the lobby here, that viewers, I want to say thank you so much for joining us here today in the PSGL YouTube channel. If you guys are new to PSGL and you are interested in the content that is provided from the league, please make sure to subscribe and like the video if you're enjoying our commentary as well on the third round of the Season 31 F5 Championship. And I also do want to mention that our title sponsors are our Grid Rival and GT Omega, the latter being the official title sponsor for the entire season as well. But anyway, we're heading into the race now. Like I mentioned previously, no formation lap, so we're going straight into this, and we should be running up any time soon. And the question I want to ask you, Evil, what do you expect is going to happen on that first lap? Will we see a lot of drivers going kind of aggressively, actually, and trying to send it possibly into the first turn at La Sauce or down into Le Combs, or is it going to be a very, I don't know how to put it, just a mellow start? What do you think is going to happen on the first lap here in Belgium?
Yes, well, I've seen, because I can see what they've set the weather, by the way, because it is going to be a wet race start. So if I was the drivers, I'd be a little bit tentative down towards someone. It's very slippery down there. It's a tight right-hander. In the wet, it's going to be even more treacherous as well. So you got to be taking a bit cautious, especially if you're in that mid-pack. If you're up front, you're going to have to be kind of cautious for any car locking up, missing a braking point down towards turn number 1. Of course, there is a runoff on the exit of turn 1, as long as you decide, if you're going wide, to take it early, because you hit the sausage curb and you're going straight around into a spin, remember, around there, because the sausage curbs on these getting the yellow major sausage curbs, they will throw your car straight into a spin. So they've got to be very careful around there. Up our route into Radion, real opportunity down into Le Combe. It's all going to be about patience. Is going to be a virtue. But who's going to be patient in the first round, well, the first lap here in Spa? That's the crucial thing. And you're looking down, I mean, the middle of the pack, that's going to be where the action's going to happen. You can look at here, or you could absolutely go to zero in the space of a few hundred meters. I mean, Jonah, I've seen many start crashes here in my time of commentary. It's very easy to do so around Belgium. Let's hope they all, for our sake, get through turn number 1.
Yeah, that is the hope. You know, I think these drivers, since it is a wet start to the Grand Prix, we hope that they will take it just kind of mellowy into the start. It's not really a word, but you know what I mean. Turn 1, that's going to be the crucial point, because like you mentioned, I think you and me both have seen some crazy crashes at turn 1, and we've seen some real life crashes as well at turn 1. But I think the biggest point is going to be a Rouge. With the rain here, Going up the hill, traction is going to be a very difficult point, and also downforce as well. If these drivers are running a pretty low downforce setup, which is a thing for rounders, since Sector 1 and Sector 3 is a very fast section, you want lower downforce. If the drivers are running low downforce, and if they're pushing flat out at Eau Rouge, in these treacherous conditions, we could see a few spins and possibly even a crash as well. But let's hope that that doesn't happen, and they all just make it through turn 1 and that entire first lap, and so they can get those tires up to grips. And that's another thing we got to talk about as well, is the tire temps. Because no formation lap is on, that's going to affect the tires as well, especially on that first lap.
Yeah, indeed. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember what the tyre temperatures will be for everyone. I think it should be around about 80, 90 degrees. I could be wrong. It could be reset down at 70. Now, of course, if you are wondering why do we have no formation lap, well, the very good reason, that's because the host of the lobby would have all the tyre temp they get from the formation, but everyone else in the lobby, their tyre temps would be reset back down to 70 degrees. So for fairness sakes for all the drivers, it's all been turned off, so everyone has a fair shot at it. So let's see. I don't know what tyre temps they will be, but it will all be even across the field. That's the good thing for them to do so, because I've seen a few times when it's on a few people not making turn 1 because they suddenly had no grip down towards there. And I think we should be getting going in just a few moments time. We've got a 1 or 2 ready up so far. So in just a few seconds, the Belgian Grand Prix will be back underway after a short delay for a slight lobby desync. So it's always a possibility. It always happens now and then. We've just got to make the best of it. Well, I mean, it does let us to talk about this circuit, by the way. And of course, Belgium, it first hosted a race back in 1950, came off the calendar in 1970, of course. That was the old Belgium Grand Prix, the old Spa-Francorchamps, then the 14 kilometres, if I'm not too mistaken, it was, of course. Came back in 1985, of course, the same rough year as the Nürburgring came back on the calendar on what is now known as the 7.044 kilometre circuit, which runs itself around the same venue, of course, the same rough location. Well, the only minor changes since then is, of course, the last chicane of the start-finish line. That used to be more curved back in the day, of course, after, I think it was 2006 when it went off the calendar. For 2007, that was straight into what it is now. The bus-stop chicane was rather squished, and, well, it's no longer a bus-stop chicane, but we still call it in honorary the bus-stop chicane, even though I think now it's just called the chicane, but everyone just calls it the bus-stop because that's what it is.
I still call it the bus stop. You know, it's been renamed, of course, but it is still the bus stop, and I think in all our eyes, you know. But yeah, you know, it is, Spa is one of the best tracks. And another thing too that's kind of sad is that there's rumors that it might not be on the calendar in the next few years, which is incredibly sad because we love Spa. It's one of the best circuits out there, and it truly is an incredible circuit, and it's pretty historic as well, like you have mentioned.
Yeah, indeed, one of the founding fathers of Formula One, of course, with Monaco, with Silverstone, with Monza as well. Of course, technically the Indy 500, but of course that doesn't really race. It's not really part of the championship, of course. It was from 1950 to 1960. Of course, Indianapolis that'd be a nice circuit I would have rather seen back again, of course. Instead, though, we're going to, if I'm not mistaken, next year it's Las Vegas in America. So there's your third American race, though I'd much preferred if it was Indianapolis. I suppose you most likely might agree with me. Indianapolis is an awesome place to and an awesome spectacle. Absolutely,
yeah. Indianapolis is one of the best tracks out there, and like in America, definitely. And I would love to see it in Indianapolis as the third race of the season. I'd also like to see a race in Watkins Glen as well. Of course, they'd need some major changes to the track, but I'd like to see F1 go to New York, back to Watkins Glen. But of course, I'm really happy for the Las Vegas Grand Prix since I'm over on the West Coast, and that's going to be our race because I can't really go to a race on the East Coast or Central America as well. So it's nice to have a race on the West Coast, and finally I can call Las Vegas my home Grand Prix. So that'll be good. But of course, I would love to see Indianapolis. Anyway. Let's head into the race because the grid is ready up. We are ready to go for the Belgian Grand Prix. Thank you so much, everybody, for your patience. I know it was a little bit of a wait. We were just trying to make sure that everybody was in and we were ready to go for the Belgian Grand Prix here today. I do believe Ryan is unable to join some sort of lag issue or something like that, so you won't be seeing him in the Grand Prix, unfortunately. But remember, no formation lap. We're heading straight into this, so Evil, I'm going to let you take this away for the start of the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yeah, indeed, whilst we're just waiting for a few seconds, and of course 20 corners around this 7.044 kilometre circuit, the longest on the Formula 1 calendar. Nearest longest circuit, I believe it was Jeddah right now. I think that's just over 5 kilometres long, but in just a few moments' time, hopefully, for the second time, we'll get this race underway. We're just waiting a few moments for everyone to ready up, so that is why a few moments of anticipation before my first race of the season, Jonah's third race of the season, and here we are then, 30 seconds to go, and it definitely looks like this time the countdown is most certainly counting down, so that is the good thing. With 20 seconds to go, remember, everyone's starting on the intermediate tyres. As far as I can see, intermediates in the Mercedes garage, it definitely looks like that down the rest of the grid, only medium light rain, so it's definitely medium rain more towards the heavy end. Will it get heavier? Will it get lighter? Let's find out, because the Belgium Grand Prix is about to get underway then. So here we go with 1 light, 2 lights, 3, 4, 5, look but never stare, because the Belgium Grand Prix is underway. It's a very good start there from the Alfa Romeo. The Ferrari trying to scamper its way down towards turn 1, but it is the Alfa Romeo there. We're coming on the inside and immediate contact. There goes Victor into the back of the Alfa Romeo. Somehow doesn't go spinning. A few cars going wide in the background there. As I think it's 2, 3, 4 abreast. They come around road, 1 car in the wall there. Looks like one of the Alpha Tauris there having an issue, but so far for the car. Oh, that's almost a big off there. Has he caught it? Yes, he has. Rejoins the circuit. Big tag slapper for Victor.
Yeah, Victor really went wide there. He saved the car, thankfully, but he's now under pressure from now a 3-wide overtake between these drivers here today. We have Baki, Bas Bremer, and Victor almost side by side into the columns. The Alpha is now going to try and go down the inside on the Aston Martin of Victor, but he's not going to be successful on that one. Meanwhile, up the road, Marquico is now looking for the overtake on Mosey, the Miami Grand Prix winner, who is in P6 at the moment, but it is Smalley that leads away from Slimblow, and then comes Sanvudua and Vandenberg into 4th, and Julio completes the top 5 as we head down into Puan. Is Marquico looking for the overtake on the Ferrari of Mosey? It's not quite yet, but he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. Victor now looking for the overtake as we see a car off the track.
Oh, we got an issue. We got an issue there, and there is that one of the Alpines going around on the exit of Puan. Yes, it is. So the rule's starting to struggle then. 1 car going straight around in the back of the field. Somehow, the ghosting system saving his bacons. He flew straight into the middle of the field. I thought there was an issue there. Victor having a torrid time right now. Daddy started in 3rd, 4th position right now. Hit the rear of the road, and they all can't make it into Blanchimont. Up the inside there goes one of the Alpha Tauris there on the Haas, and that led Vandenberg up into 3rd position. Your race leader then, Smalley, leads him away then. 1 minute, 2 minutes free then for the first lap then. Simbo in 2nd. Moody down there in 3rd. Marchio there having a look. 3 abreast down towards turn 1 there. Oh, they're not going to stop. It's going to hit the rear end. He has hit the Aston Martin. And Victor there takes 1 position. And his teammate Giulio drops himself down a 2-3 position, but they're all struggling and squirming around as side by side up into railroads, the McLaren and the Aston Martin. That is going to be braver at 180 miles an hour, and they just about get away with it. You don't see it in the dry as there's a McLaren talking of it in a big off there, and that unsurprisingly the safety car.
Makes sense why that is a safety car, and that means the grid will be halted. No overtaking at this time, but what a start to the race that was. Absolutely phenomenal from everybody there. 3 wide into La Sauce. That was absolutely incredible from Marquico, Victor, and Mosey. That was great, but unfortunately, Julio got caught up into that battle there, and he's down to P10, lost 5 positions, and that is unfortunate as Rudy is out of the race. And I do believe that is at turn 7. And that means that the Alpine is also out. So Alex and Rudy out of the race. And that is 2 retirements on lap 2. Meanwhile, the virtual safety car has ended. And we get racing underway once again. And look at the start Slimbo got. He got an incredible start. Off of the Alfa Romeo Small. He might have an opportunity with a massive slipstream chance. Down to Blanchimont. Let's see if he's able to do this. As he is going to stick right behind that Alfa Romeo 310, separating first and second position. Heading down to the bus stop chicane. Can the Ferrari use that slipstream to send it down the inside? Is he that confident on the brakes? And he's actually gone wide. He's gone wide. Vandenberg might have the chance to close up.
Yeah, he got a big tire slap, but he's still trying to go down into the bus up chicane. He's so much more confident on those brakes right now. And let's see if he can get a good exit. It's going to be a do or late dive down towards turn 1. It's Limber. They're all going fastest right now because, of course, first lap done. Is there an opportunity down towards turn 1? No, there isn't. Try and get a good exit. Try and straighten the car up. Of course, he's lost barely any ERS, remember. So now he's going to start pushing. So is Smalley. They're all going to push it down towards Lecombe. Down to one to Rudy, by the way. He just dropped it out of turn 8 and 9. Didn't retire the car, by the way. He just went into the wall and he just left the session then. So that is a real shame for him. I don't think he didn't retire the car. So I think the game's actually retired him now. But he wasn't out the race, so he could have carried on and got a bit more points. So that's a real shame to see him out. But Smalley survives turn number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 so far. Does he survive turn 10? Yes, he does. A little bit wide there for a few cars up behind. Vandenberg struggling a little bit as well. A bit of a gap right now down between 6th and 7th position. There is Mosey down there up the inside looking his Kyle. He got the nose up the inside. He's alongside forces the out for a little bit wide. And thank you very much, he says. I'm going for that position. Very optimistic driving for him, and he gets the job absolutely perfected right there. And perfection one thing, passing very much another, and that was both of them in the space of a few hundred centimetres. Up front though, still the top 2 line astern right now, following suit, and we mentioned it earlier on, that is Vandenberg. He is looking very good right now, isn't it? I mean, he's just holding those lines right there, he's just holding station. He's got purple sector 2, and he's just waiting for these guys to potentially battle or make their own mistakes.
Yeah, he is making his way through the field, really, and right on the back of those top 2. And like you mentioned, if those 2 make a mistake anywhere, maybe in a battle or something like that, that AlphaTauri is there for the taking and just says, thank you very much, I'll have that position, and gets up into first. So the question will be, is that going to happen, or will the AlphaTauri have to go for a little bit more of a risky overtake? But they are so close together. 4/10 really separating between all these drivers here. Absolutely phenomenal. Also, I do want to mention Catterson is up 9 positions. What a start from the Williams driver, and he is making his way through the field.
Yeah, big twitch again for Smalley at turn number 1, but it doesn't matter because he burns all his ERS. Meanwhile, Catterson up another position. Now he's in 8th place. Right now, another twitch then for the Alfa Romeo. This could be the opportunity that Ferrari's looking for. Both of them burning the ERS. Which way do you go? 200 miles an hour. He's going to force left then. Let's see, late braking to the outside line. Into Lecombe. Can't quite do it. The Alfa Romeo hold station as it being low. Let's see the AlphaTauri not too far behind, but can't quite do it. Another tank slapper, a bit more twitchy. But this an opportunity is not to present itself up the inside. And still just about skating on the island then, all 3 of them. And this is treacherous conditions in the top 3. Pulling away as there's contact there in the back. And there is, talking of the back, the Aston Martin getting sent sideways around with Sam Ferreira going into the side pods. Both of them keep himself going in a straight line, but contact right there, and that's only going to further the gap, isn't it?
It is, and that's unfortunate to see those drivers make contact. Victor's now wide. Off the track, he must have damage or something like that. As they were battling, they were almost side by side into a roost, so it was going all so well until the no-name corner, and so that is unfortunate. Meanwhile, up at the front, Vandenberg is right on the back of Slimbo. This is very close, and this might be his best opportunity to make the move on the Ferrari. Is he going to try it? I am not sure. So let's see if he's going to make that risky overtake down to the bus stop. I think he's just too far behind. Unless there is a mistake by one of these drivers. It doesn't look like there is. But wow, this is insanely close between the top 3 and down the order too. There is a great battle going on here for P5 as the Haas is leading away. A train of cars all the way down to around 8th position.
Yeah, it's so close to the midfield. I mean, it's so close. You got the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. 4th, 5th and 6th all together. Then we've got, like I said, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 drivers all together as Lakitu there trying to make a few positions up. The inside goes one, up the outside goes another, and they're all sweeping and swapping around as actually saying that a bit of contact, and that's a bit clumsy down towards turn number 1.
Mosey and Garrison.
Bazu and Lakitu having contact down there up front. Meanwhile, 4 and a bit temps the gap between the top 4, 5, 6 temps down as well, so they're all remaining somewhat stationary. As here, meanwhile, comes Mosey to take up Catterson's position. That was like taking Cannon from a baby right there. Slipstream no DRS minus Higgins is not enabled. Get straight through. Julio, meanwhile, battling with the Williams on the outside line. More contact around there, bit more argy-bargy as they get their elbows up. Down into 7, 8 and 9. There's going to be more contact. To be brave. Start to go around the outside. Indeed, he does up the inside. It's to be optimistic from the Alpine. Does he get the move done? Is there just about enough for him? Yes, there is. A bit more elbows out on the exit, and a poor roll of Giuliano, right, there's been rather elbowed down 2 positions in the space of 3 corners.
Yeah, Aston Martin have had not so great of a race so far as, Julio down to P13. Victor is down the order as well. Meanwhile, Catterson is looking for the move on Mosey. These two have had a great battle so far this race, and that Williams might send it to the inside. Into Savalo we come. Oh, a little bit of contact between the two. Not a lot of room, but the two are side by side into this really, really long right-hander, and it is so close to contact. The Ferrari just slots in right behind. He's going to look to the inside. Into Blanchimont we go. The Williams and the Ferrari, and it is Mosey that keeps ahead. What a battle between these two. Meanwhile, up the field, Vandenberg, look how close he is to Slimbo. He's looking for that overtake on the Ferrari car. Loses a little bit of time off the exit of the bus stop. And now, will Slimbo have the opportunity to make the move down into the Combs turn 5? He's 3.4 seconds. Wait, hold on a second. He's now dropped a lot. He's dropped a long ways behind now. 6/10, so something happened to him. He must have got too much on the power off the exit of turn 1.
Yeah, they tapped the rear end of him, meeting Walls. Bazu's retired in the pit then, but yeah, Vandenberg got too much confident on the brakes, slightly tapped the rear end of him on the exit of turn 1. Set himself into a slot of a half spin. Luckily caught the car back up together again, but a small mistake for him. And these small mistakes costing him dearly right now, because he most certainly would love to get himself up near into first position. These small mistakes costing him a lot of time. It seems right now the gap down the rest of the field starting to spread out now, ever so slightly, so it is Smalley still leading from Slimbo, who's just about doing what he needs to do then. So Ferrari inadvertently won too. I suppose, like I said a few days ago, it's not really it's technically the Swiss team with the Alfa Romeo branding, so it is the Swiss-Italian team, of course, right there, I suppose, saying that then. If you're going by that logic, I suppose it's the Italian that goes, Austrian-Italian, I guess, because, of course, Red Bull own the team, but of course it used to be Minardi, which was Italian, so that, of course, the AlphaTauri. So I could get into this quite a while if you want to go for alternative team names, but of course, following suit is, I believe, the Tyrrell. So far in 4th position. It gets very messy very quickly, especially when you realise the Alfa Romeo right now used to not be an Alfa Romeo, because the Alfa Romeo right now, but saying that, never mind that, because here's the Ferrari. It used to be a Ferrari. Might go and starts either way. They break it on the outside line down towards the last corner. Isn't going to do it around there. Might get the old switcheroo, left, right, left. Let's see, top 3 all together. Can't get a better exit though. And again, this is all proving very good with the ERS, and the ERS is coming into key effect here, isn't it?
It really is. This is absolutely phenomenal, as Smalley's actually made a little mistake. I think Slimbo might have the opportunity now. 3/10, look at the slipstream off the Alfa Romeo car, the 2 Italian teams, and he gets a much better exit off of Rouge. Up to Radion we come, 1/10 separating the 2 drivers. The Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo pull alongside each other for the race lead here at Spa. It is the Ferrari versus the Alfa Romeo. Who's going to get ahead? Into turn 5 we come. It is Smalley that gets ahead, and now Vandenberg is going around the outside. The AlphaTauri gets ahead, and Vandenberg now might look for the overtake on Smalley. Is he going to try it into, it's now the Ferrari's looking for the overtake.
Yeah, the Ferrari trying to get back up the inside. He got so compromised right there. He could have backed out a bit earlier, but he didn't. He's found that twice now. Trying to go around the outside. It's not worked either of them. And now instead of gaining the position, he's lost one. Because Vandenberg there with a simply stunning manoeuvre gets one. Now can he go and chase down the second? This is what I mentioned earlier he needed to do, and well, guess what? He's done it. He's got optimistic, he's got the position, but now all he needs to do, and what he needs to certainly do, is keep it on the island. Don't throw it away. You're on lap 7 of 22 of this race in the Belgium Grand Prix, and just keep what you're doing. Keep it on the island. Keep going in a straight line. But can you keep going in a straight line? Because it certainly looks, from the sky, from the track, it doesn't look like it's getting lighter.
Yeah, it is staying the same conditions out on track. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon, and there still is a long race to go, so they have to make sure that they play this strategy correct. But look how close Vandenberg is. 2/10 behind the Alfa Romeo. This might be the overtake. On lap 8, Vandenberg might go for this. He might try it into turn 1, but I think he's just going to stick behind, try and use that slipstream, try and go for a similar overtake as Slimbo. But I think he's going to try and maybe go to the inside line, but let's see how this works out. The question will be, can he hold it into turn 5, and I'm talking about Smalley now. Will Smalley hold off Vandenberg into turn 5? The AlphaTauri using the slipstream. It goes a little bit wide, actually. It goes a little bit wide, loses time to the Alfa Romeo, and this is unfortunately not the lap that he's going to overtake Smalley.
Yeah, a bit of a twitch up the top. Meanwhile, further down the field, we got the Alfa Romeo. The other Alfa Romeo getting passed by Bas Burner. The Alfa went straight across the top of Radion. So a little bit of a twitch there, whereas Bassler keep a little bit of a wiggle. So thank you very much, Sunshine. I'll take that position away from you, and then we'll drive off back into the sunset, well, into the cloudy set. But like I said, top 2 still. Linus turned 2/10 of a second, separated them. And where are you going to try and make a manoeuvre in this race? You got to try and throw one up the inside where you don't expect it. Well, you're not going to go up the inside down here right now into Pool 1, unless you're a lot closer. If you want to make a move down towards Turn 1, you've got to be within about 1/10 of a second, and so far not quite within that gap. But again, a bit more twitch on the exit again. Smalley can't keep it exactly where he wants to cut him. He just doesn't seem to be getting it placed where he needs. But Vandenberg not doing enough either to get it where he wants to do. And again, another bit of tax. I might have pointed this out, meanwhile. The Mercedes starting to come into this battle as well, Jonah.
You're right, and also the Haas as well. Sam is in P5, so this could be a 5-way fight, but right now it's a 2-way fight as Vandenberg is looking for the overtake. He's going to send it around the outside into the bus stop. Chicane, we come the Alpha, and the AlphaTauri are now going side by side. Is a little bit of contact, it seems, between the back wheels, but it is Smalley that gets ahead of Vandenberg. Will Vandenberg send it to the inside into the sauce? No, he is not. He's going to stick behind the Alfa Romeo. Look how close he gets to the back of that 2022 car. Will he make the overtake into turn 5? That is the question. He has to ace Rouge and Radion. That is the key today. If he can do that, he might have the chance to make that overtake, and he does. He aces this really well. He is now a 10th behind the Alfa Romeo, and now it is all down to power and the slipstream onto the Alfa Romeo, but Smalley keeps ahead, and Vandenberg, I don't know if he's going to go for it. Is he going to send it? He's looking for it, but doesn't make the move on the Alfa Romeo. Smalley keeps defending that line and keeps going as we enter lap 9. This is incredible defending from Smalley.
Yeah, big twitch. Meanwhile, talking of twitches, Giuliano off the road as well. So I was going to who because all of a sudden Vandenberg was side of it. He's still trying on the inside there into turn 10. Still can't quite do it. He's going to have to try and do the dummy here, Jonah, if he wants to do it. He's going to have to force him to go left then. He's going to have to dive up the inside right. Meanwhile, Caterborn and Caddison and Bass still going at it, meanwhile, for 9th and 10th there. Not giving up this battle anytime soon, but to these 2 up front. And now, all of a sudden, 2 becomes 5. Because look, now all of a sudden we've got the Haas involved list, the Mercedes, the other Ferrari back in this as well as Limbo, the Aston Martin, the AlphaTauri, and then, of course, the Alfa Romeo. So there's many A's in this race, and most certainly there's 2 S's, well, there's 3 S's at the front. And right now, where do you do an overtaking opportunity? It's down the com, is the opportunistic place, but it's not close enough. He's just sitting back. He's not too close again. A little bit too wide on the exit of turn, the exit of Blanchimont. Not going to do it up the inside down into the bus stop chicane this time around, Sunshine. And just sit back, just relax, charge your ear, rest a little bit, and see if you can catch him on guard, because you've got more place than Slimbo. That's certainly truthful. But where do you take this pace from it? Where do you try and attack? Do you want to recharge your energy? Do you want to take a few moments? Or do you want to go attack, attack, attack? Because right now, Smalley's got the cards in the hen house, but with a good exit up the top of our ridge, which again, he can't quite do. You sit back again and look at these guys stop battling for a second, Jonah, and all of a sudden, the field starts separating again.
It does, it does. There is a pretty big gap between, I'd say, the top 5 down to 6th. Around 6 seconds separating Victor and Sanvudia. Also, some drivers are coming into the pit lane as well. This is quite interesting to see. As we see Slash, I think he just came in. Oh, sorry, Baki and Lakito are coming into the pit lane for a fresh new set of intermediate compound tires. So, pit stop phase, could we start thinking about? And that is a question I want to ask you about. Is Vandenberg kind of just holding back, using Smalley to gain slipstream and not pushing too hard because we're starting to get in that phase of the tire strategy?
Well, you had to say that, didn't you? And you immediately got a penalty when you said taking it back from holding some pace. He immediately went wide off the circuit, got a penalty, and goes off the track again. Everything just glitched out on my screen there. I don't know what that was. The telemetry all decided to flash up a different colour, but I think everything's fine. I think that might have just been someone desyncing some. I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Giuliano apparently, but yeah, terms of tyres, you're thinking maybe lap 12 or 13, depends if it's getting wetter or dry. I mean, it doesn't look like it's changing at all right now in terms of the weather, so I think we just go further on into this race and see. I say that they come back in at the same time, don't they? So they have to do it at the same time, don't they?
Yeah, I think there was a plan for strategy here with these drivers, and then Smalley maybe saw Vandenberg leaning towards that line, and then he was like, no, I'm going to pit as well, and make sure that he doesn't get the undercut strategy. It's all about down to the pit stop phase now. Vandenberg into the pit lane. Let's see how this works out, and he gets blocked by the Ferrari. He gets blocked by the Ferrari, and now Slimbo is ahead. Smalley gets ahead, so Slimbo has jumped Vandenberg in the pit lane. So that means the Ferrari moves into technically second position once everyone else does come into the pit lane.
Yeah, indeed. So a small, well, I say a small mistake, but that was rather just more of a unfortunate timing. But now these guys are going to have to come up on some traffic. This is going to be crucial, depending on how quick Addison Bass comes in track formula, and the likes of Marchio and Sam Fiedele. Remember, if they've got the tyres and if they can keep going, they can go on for a lot longer. Remember, if they're under the wet weather, of course, you do not have to change tyres, so it'll be a fool's errand to think they can go to the end, but we'll see how far they can go. It's basically, off goes Smalley into the wall and out of the Belgium Grand Prix, and that, my goodness, well, we wasn't expecting that, but Small is now out, and is that going to be a most certainly, presumably, will be a safety car? I'll be unsurprised. We're not going to get one, are we then? I don't think we're going to get a safety car, but Smalley, 2 miles on the curb, drops it into the wall, and now the safety car is, I believe, deployed. Yes, safety car is deployed.
Drama on lap 11. I cannot believe what has just happened. The what was the race leader has now crashed out of the Grand Prix. Absolute unfortunate events for Alfa Romeo today. Smalley is out of the race. I cannot believe it.
I tell you what, Marchio might get away with this. I think he's going to get the lead from this, you know, because look, these
You're
guys
right.
are all the way down the back. He's going to get a free pit. Remember, the pit delta is going to be about 15, 16 seconds around here. So Marchio, Sanfioretta as well, these guys might just gain some time here, because look at these guys all stop behind, and I thought for a second Van der Berg was going to take a lunge. Is he going to get the lead here? This is going to be close on the exit. No, I don't think he will. He's just stopped right now. Slimbos is coming through down towards turn number 1. So I think he's just going to get it. It's going to be close on the exit, though. So I think, yeah, he's just about to get it. Is he going to get second, though? No, not quite, but so close. So close, but not quite close enough.
Very close. It is very close for the Mercedes driver, but it is okay. He's still in P3 and still has a chance of going for this victory, because remember, Vandenberg does have the penalty, and so the Mercedes driver will be effectively second at the end of this race. But the question is, can he get past Vandenberg and try and challenge Slimbo for the race victory? But I'm shaking. To be honest, I'm still shaking after what has just happened to the Alfa Romeo. Smalley is out of the Grand Prix. A dramatic end to his race from the technical race lead, because once everyone else pit, he would be in the race lead. But wow, I cannot believe that has happened to the Alfa Romeo driver, and really unfortunate scenes for him as he ends his race in a retirement.
Yeah, we saw it earlier on as well. I remember we saw Ruud Gullit go off there down a few laps ago on the first couple of laps. Same place, same time, too much curb, too much power, go on the curb, beats the car. That is a death sentence for anything right there. Spun round into the wall, and, well, that is the end of his race. He's going to be dejected because he was driving so well right now. But this is all going to bring Slimbo into this race, Marco into this race as well, as I will quickly go for a few second breaks. I need to make myself a drink.
Yeah, no worries. This is the safety car period, so we get a time to relax here. Slimbo leading the Grand Prix from Van den Berg, and Marquico in the Mercedes is in third position. Wow, what a turn of events. And now that the safety cars comes out, this is kind of bunched up the field. We're going to get the racing back underway, and then we will get the remaining 10 laps of this Belgian Grand Prix. But of course, it is the longest circuit, one of the longest circuits, I do believe, on the calendar. And that means that that this 10-lap period is going to be quite long compared to other circuits like Austria, which we visited for the first round of the season. And it's all about this restart as well. Will Slimbo get away off of Van den Berg well, or will it be reversed? Will Van den Berg get the better start and try and make that move on the Ferrari in first position? That's the question, really, and we'll see how this works out. Now, viewers, if you do look at the side of your screen there, at the side of the leaderboard, we could see that a lot of drivers do have penalties. We're going to get that up on our screen now so you can see exactly what penalties they have. Victor has the most out of that pair of drivers, 6 seconds penalties, where everybody else has mainly got 3 seconds. So Marquico and Slimbo are really the only drivers that have no penalties yet. And so that gives them the best opportunity for fighting for this race victory. Now, Marquico, to battle for this race victory, he's got to get past Van den Berg first, because while he'll get past him at the end of the race due to the penalties. If he's going for this race victory, he's got to overtake him on track. So that is the goal, I think, for Marquico, and then his next goal will be trying to go for that race victory by battling with the Ferrari of Slimbo. But it really all depends on that safety car restart. Let's see what happens when we come to the end of this. The safety cars should be coming in this lap, and we'll get the racing underway on lap 14, which will be around 8 laps remaining of the Belgian Grand Prix, including that lap, which should be 19 more laps. Or sorry, it should be 9 more laps. But anyway, let's see how this all works out. And viewers, I do want to mention as well that if you guys have not checked out our previous race in Miami and also Austria, definitely go check those 2 races out. That is that's something good to do, because the championship, every single point matters, really. And so if you guys want to know who won those races and how the races turned out, definitely go check out round 1 and round 2 for the F5 championship. And of course, we have many more rounds to come, a pretty long season from here on out. So we'll see how it goes for everybody, and we'll see who comes out on top at the end of this championship. So as I mentioned, we should get the call for the safety car to go in this lap, probably at the sector 3 line. That's when we'll get the notification that the safety car is coming into the pit lane.
Yes, and ironically timed, I come back right there as a safety car, I think, in around about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, right now.
Perfect timing.
I like when that happens. I always know it's, well, it's pretty easy to guess when the safety car's coming. I suppose 3 laps normally, 2 to 3 laps. So right, let's get ready to go. Then back racing. I'm all hydrated. I've got a massive drink next to me again because I drank it all in the space around about 13 minutes because it is very warm in my room right now. A currently temperature of 28 degrees. So it is a wee bit warm. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind it looking like this right now, right, in England. A little bit of rain, because everything's a little bit on fire. But, let's see, the red Ferrari, well, he is certainly going to be on fire in this race, because he needs, well, he doesn't need to be too aggressive, but he needs to certainly be mindful of Van den Berg, who has a penalty, but is certainly going to be trying to come at him. Now, when do you want to go, Sunshine? Slowing and speeding a little bit there, but I think they're just about going to get themselves away through the last corner. And let's see, when's he going to bolt? I think probably, is he going to leave it late, or is he going to go now? He's going to go now.
Oh, Van den Berg slid. Vandenberg just slid there. That lost him a lot of time to Slimbo. That was a perfect getaway for the Ferrari driver, and it was a worse getaway for Vandenberg. Oh, what happened?
Kyle off into the background then, so he's spun it. So Kyle having an awful start in this race, but yeah, like I said, Slimbo got a good start, and Vandenberg as well. Back to you.
Yeah, I think we're also witnessing a great battle going on here for P5. Trappy Formula in the Williams is looking for the overtake on Victor. Could be going for this one.
Big off.
Oh!
Sorry to cover a Bass burner off the road up the top of Rally on that tag stopper, and now sure there's going to be another safety car. And you know what they say, safety car breeds safety car normally. I will not be surprised if that was a straight safety car to be called. No, not yet. So, are we going to get a safety car again? I thought earlier on we might not, but we did. Or are we just going to wait? I'd be very surprised if we're going to leave that where... No, they've got rid of it. There we go. Never mind. No safety car.
And Trappy Formula has now got past Victor, who goes a little wide on the track, and he's going to lose the position to the Williams, who's now into P5. So great start by Trappy Formula. But yeah, I'm surprised as well that that is not a safety car. That was a pretty hefty crash for Bas Bremer in the Alpine. So unfortunate to see that he is out of the race, but quite surprising that there is no safety car. But yeah, going back to the top of the field, Vandenberg 7/10 behind Slimbo. Like I mentioned, very good start for the Ferrari driver. It was absolutely perfect. And it's actually the same gap between the top three, so quite interesting to see that.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, everyone's been keeping themselves just a little bit right now within their own limits. I mean, Vandenberg, I don't know if he's got the right pace to get Slimbo. I mean, certainly he would love to, but I mean, if you've got a penalty right now, do you risk it? That's the thing. You got to risk it, but how much risk do you want to take? I mean, sure, you might drop a position down to Marchio, but right now it's being Stan. He's on the podium because behind him we've got Sam Ferreira, Trap Formula, and Victor all on penalties. And we've got, of course, Catterton, who hasn't got a penalty. And talking of Catterton, goes purple on his lap time, 156.2. Remember, the first start of this race, they were quite low in the 2-minute 2s. 2-minute 1, so this certainly looks like it's getting a bit more drier potentially, but still intermediate conditions. But what do you want to do right now if you're Vandenberg? Do you reckon he's going to be aggressive if he gets an opportunity?
I think he's just going to play this very calm. I think that's his strategy right now. I think that's probably what he wants to do, because if he pushes too hard, then that increases the risk of him spinning, or an incident is caused and he loses time and loses that position to possibly Catterson as well, who could come through the field. So that's going to be interesting as well. But like you mentioned, he is on the podium no matter what. But if one little mistake comes, then Catterson is right there for the taking, and that is the question. But right now, he is in P3 because Marquico in the Mercedes is going to be ending up in second because he is only 8/10 behind the AlphaTauri, unless he gets a penalty, and that could happen as well. But Vandenberg, if he can just kind of keep this calm, that I think is the best strategy, because Slimbo is losing a little bit of time to that AlphaTauri, and if he goes a little bit too wide, he gets that penalty. That puts Vandenberg right into the taking for a possible second position.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, this race has still got a long way to come. I mean, we're on that 15 to 22, meaning we've got, what, 6 and a bit, 6-7 laps to go so far. But again, on the straight, you can certainly see that Slimbo's got a better exit. He's kind of been like this as well as the Alfa Romeo earlier on in this race. They get much better exits out of the corners than they do onto entrance. They definitely seem to be squirming on the entrances, but their exit speed seems to be so sublime. Look down here, look at how much he pulls out as well, Jonah.
Yeah, he really does pull out a great gap, actually, and look at Vandenberg. He is just right there. And he set the fastest lap of the race as well. AlphaTauri coming back into frame now. This is interesting.
Yeah, indeed, but remember, he's not close enough down here on that, of course. Slimbo makes a small mistake, gets a twitch on, then he'll be back in the race, but neither of them quite close enough. It goes down to 3/10. That's not enough to get alongside or even get any kind of ounce of steam. I mean, Slimbo's felt he has to use the ERS. He didn't need to do that, but so far he wants to. Meanwhile, further down the field, Marchio's starting to drop back a little bit from Sam Ferreira as well. He's dropping, so they're starting to gap each other a little bit. Catterson down in 7th. It's not looking like he might get a podium, but still a long way. He's still so far, I think, on shout for around about 4th place, which is from where he started in this race. Where did he start in this race?
Towards the back, I think. He gained, let's see how many positions he gained. He gained 11 positions. So that's all the way down to the back of the grid.
Yeah, So he started last so far, might get a potential of a fourth, might be a third if anything else happens, as long as we don't say anything and he gets himself a penalty, which is always ironically timed normally for me, but luckily for him, he didn't get one right then. So as long as he doesn't go wide, it'll all be fine. Oh, talking of going wide, well, talking of not going wide, he's gone too much into the inside and unwide. That's Victor, a little bit twitchy for him, and he just about catches up with Catterson. And these two, Jonah, have been taking bits at each other all afternoon. They've been side by side, they've been touching in each other a little bit, but they've all been relatively fair, haven't they? So those two are going to be something to look out for if they go battle. Yellow flag, and that is for, I believe, Giuliano. He's made a mistake and he's hit the wall, I believe, is up front right end plate score. As Mosey, who disconnected earlier on, I presume, because he's still a ghost, is definitely struggling. Meanwhile, up front, Vanderberg still trying to pile on pressure, and now he's got a bit of pace, and he right now, if he can get it past, that'll help him, but he needs to be careful.
And now I think this is the time for him to push, because if he can get past Limbo, then he can try and get that 3-second gap, which is really difficult to do, especially at this stage in the race. But if he's going to go for this win, this is his only opportunity, so he has to make this overtake as soon as possible. He is gaining a lot of time. The Ferrari defends the outside line. Smart, but Slimbo goes wide. Slimbo goes a little bit wide. That could get Vanderberg in a position to fight for this win, as he is right on the back of the Ferrari car, coming down into Brussels. We come turn 8.
He's wide.
Oh, he's wide. Yep.
Oh, is he going to get this? It's going to be so close out versus still can't do it. How they hit each other? They've touched each other on the exit, and now he's going to get through. Has he got the off speed up the inside? The AlphaTauri, the Ferrari's going to hold him down the inside. Fantastic maneuver. He gets a job done. A bit of contact, though, to get the maneuver. He pushed him offline, and I don't know, Slimbo might not be happy about that one, though, Jonah.
Yeah, that was a very interesting overtake there, but you know what? It worked out. He got past. That's all that matters now for Vanderberg, as now, look at the gap. He's pulled out. He's almost got a second on Slimbo. This is exactly what he needed, and now he is gaining the time. 1 second to the Ferrari driver. If he gains 2 more seconds, he's got this race victory. This is getting very interesting. He had the pace, and now Marquico is looking for the overtake on Slimbo. Marquico might be in this battle now, as the Mercedes driver is looking to make the move on the Italian Ferrari driver. Let's see how this works out, as the Mercedes is going to try and make the switchback maneuver, trying to get the better exit off of the bus stop chicane. He is not going to get ahead, though, and Slimbo will stay in second. Meanwhile, Vanderberg increases his gap off the Ferrari. He has to keep doing this. He just has a few more laps to go, and if he's able to do this, he'll get the win. This is what gets people wins, is this particular driving right now. This consistent keeping ahead and gaining time on the car behind. This is exactly what Vanderberg needs.
Yeah, that's exactly like you said. That is what he needs to do. I mean, the stewards might maybe look at it if it's reported, because it was, I think, a little bit of a push to pass. That was definitely what you see in the stateside. Sometimes the likes of IndyCar, of course. It was, I think, they were last night in IndyCar. I think it was it the Music Grand Prix last night?
Yeah.
I saw there was a lot of drama there with certain people. Roman Grosjean was very angry at something.
Yeah, there was... There was contact between Joseph Newgarden, I do believe, and Roman Grosjean, and Grosjean was thrown into the wall. Unfortunate to see that, but I don't think this incident is as extreme as that one, of course. Like you mentioned, the stewards may look into it, but if anything, I think it'd be a very minimal penalty. As meanwhile, we have Catterson and Victor.
Well, these guys, and I'll tell you what, these guys are going to take each other off the road in a second. Oh, how they didn't hit each other outside line. That's going to be brave. They're squeezing each other all the way sideways across the circuit. And as well, and somehow still side by side. And Catterson here, take a bow, Sunshine, with Victor. You might have a penalty, Victor. You're not giving it up, Sunshine, are you?
And the Williams are now 5th and 6th, so that puts Catterson into a higher position, and he's able to gain on the cars ahead, which could get him a top 4 position or something like that. But Victor's coming back at him around the outside. Wow, the Aston Martin is going for the overtake. He goes a little bit wide. Is he now going to send it around the outside into the bus stop chicane? This battle is not going away anytime soon. Victor coming back to the Williams car into the final corner and come. Traction is key here as the Williams gets the better traction, and Catterson moves back into 6th position. But is Victor going to send it down the inside? Yes, he is. Down into the sauce become the two side by side. Wow, incredible racing. They almost touch wheels, but Catterson eventually gets ahead. Wow, absolutely amazing racing from these two drivers.
It's not over yet, though, between these two. Look how much straight line speed the Aston Martin's got then. He's got so little downforce compared to the Williams. I won't be surprised if he gets it down this straight. Remember, he was 2-3 times behind. That's not going to matter. Oh, he's in the rear again. And these two need to be careful here. They're going to take each other off the road. They touch again on the exit of the comp. And these guys are weaving a little bit too much right now. Victor gets a time penalty. He's going to be livid with that move right there. And is he going to lunge on at the inside? He fought for it. Oh, he's too twitch on the exit. But these two are not going to finish this race if they keep this up. This is incredible.
Absolutely amazing racing between these two drivers. It looks to calm down right now, but absolutely amazing, well respected. Of course, that last overtaking opportunity, you could see Victor saw an opportunity to the left. It kind of seemed like he was trying that Daniel Ricciardo move from Italy 2014 on Sebastian Vettel, but of course it didn't work out. And thankfully, there was no complete contact. Victor gets a little bit of snap of oversteer there, but he's lost a lot of time to Catterson. So for the moment, the battle has ended, but for that last lap, that was absolutely epic from those two.
Yeah, I think he might have got damage, you know, to be fair. He did hit the rear, he had a fair old whack on the rear diffuser of Catterson, of course, depending on how much damage it's on him. Might have given himself a slight bit of yellow, but look, he's got no grip through the corners. Look, saying that, I mean, he might just be running no downforce, so what do I know what he's doing right now? I don't know what his setup is right now, but all I definitely know is a loud slash to come into this. Lakitu is having a, I'd say on his behalf, a rather torrid time, to be fair. From what I know, Lakitu is very good. And he just doesn't seem to have the pace right now in this Mercedes. Meanwhile, up front, 2.3 seconds. But Vanderberg, and this is something I don't know if you picked it up, he's got 6 seconds.
Yeah, you're right. That is interesting. That is interesting.
McLaren,
so,
and that is
Kyle.
That's not going to be a safety car because we've got not enough laps for a safety car to come out, I do not believe. So, I think, no, I'll be surprised if it came out, but 21, it would only be a lap safety car. I've seen it before, but I think not.
And also, Marquico, sorry to interrupt you there, but Marquico has made a little mistake. He has dropped back the order, and now Sanvudia is now going to be looking for the overtake on the Mercedes driver. 410 separating the 3rd and 4th position there. But that might have just finalized the results because Marquico is now too far behind Slimbo to try and make that overtake unless Slimbo makes an overtake, makes a mistake on a curb or something like that with 3 laps to go. But currently, with that penalty that Vanderberg because now he has 6 seconds. He is going to be losing that position to Slimbo. Slimbo is going to grab the 3rd win of the season if things go the way we think it's going. But of course, anything can happen in league racing.
Yeah, indeed. I don't know how many warnings away from a penalty, but he's certainly going to be on his best behavior because 1-3 seconds, and that could be really under scrutiny. Because look, it's only 2.6 seconds the gap between 1st and 2nd. That can disappear in a heartbeat around here. If we've got wet conditions, it's treacherous, it's raining. It certainly looks like it's drying up a little bit, but it looks like it's just getting lighter and lighter, but not light enough. Meanwhile, Marquitio's battling with Sam Ferreira, and Sam Ferreira still can't get through. It's good to see we've got a bot in the chat. If Luke can take care of him, I see he's in the chat. If Luke can remove the bot, that'd certainly be lovely to see. But meanwhile, Trap Formula down there, he's so far in 5th. He's had a rather good race as well. Sorry, you know, that is Trap Formula as well. Patterson's dropped back a little bit, meanwhile, from that battle earlier on. He just hasn't got the pace since that earlier manoeuvre. And well, we'll see what he can do. Meanwhile, here is Sam Ferreira, then he's going to try and make that move then on the 3rd position. Outside line. And I don't think Mark Etio is going to battle this one at all because he knows 6 seconds versus none is certainly going to help him.
Wow, that's interesting. So Marquico's moved further down the order, and yeah, he's gonna be held up by the Haas driver. So that actually may have changed the results. Vanderberg might be getting 2nd position, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's certainly possible right now with Vanderberg getting 2nd, but he needs to be careful he doesn't end up getting another penalty, which is still possible. Tell you what, Marquinhos rather dropped the ball in this one, because he had an opportunity for that third. It's not going to happen so far. It's certainly not going to happen. But let's see, 2.8 seconds, 2.9 between Slimbo and Vanderberg. This is still on edge, you know, for who's going to win this race.
It still is. You know, anything can happen. I mean, 3 seconds right now. If Slimbo gets a penalty, it's all over. So he's just got to make sure he doesn't get a penalty with a lap and a half or so to go in this race. 3.1 seconds. Can Vanderberg do this? Or will it be Slimbo? Currently, it's going towards Slimbo just because of the penalties. He's gained a little bit of time off of the AlphaTauri driver. We approach the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. Vanderberg leads away, but with those 6-second time penalties, he will lose the race lead. But anything can happen. Anything can happen. Let's see how this goes. Meanwhile, Marquico is 5 seconds away from Vanderberg. So if Vanderberg can gain a second or so, and Marquico does not get a penalty, then Vanderberg will still be taking second position in this race. But right now, it will finish with Marquico in second position. But let's just see how this works out. Slimbo is exiting Eau Rouge now, and what will he do? Will he just make sure that he just keeps it going, or what do you think is going to happen right now?
Well, all he needs to do, and what he definitely needs to do, is not go off the circuit and pick up a 3-second time penalty. That's what he needs to do, but the question is, does he succeed in the plan of not going off the circuit? Well, he's taking a bit cautiously. He can lose a second or two as long as he keeps it on the island. That's what I would do right now. He's got a bit of a gap down. He's got, 1-2 seconds down towards San Ferreira right now. He needs to be careful to take these corners a little bit cautiously, but do you want to take it cautious and still go off the road? That's always a chance as he comes down into Pua. Meanwhile, Lakitu has been overtaken by Slash, so those two have switched themselves down. Marquinhos, meanwhile, has his been... Oh, Marquinhos off! Oh, horror accident now! God! And that is the Mercedes out of this race. And there is all chance of that podium gone and dusted.
Absolutely insane. This is crazy. And that means Marquico is out. That puts Trappy Formula up in what will be third position in this race. Crazy scenes here. Unless Catterson can gain around 8/10 of a second, he will be on the podium. Either way, it's going to be a Williams. But either way, one Williams will be on the podium. So Slimbo comes around the final corner. He's going to win this one.
Yeah, here we go, though. So Vanderberg will take it on track. Puts the Ferrari in Belgium of Slimbo. He'll take the checker flag. He knows it. He crosses the line there and finishes on the podium. Trap Formula is going to finish third. San Ferreira in fourth. No, Catterson's got fourth then. Catterson in fourth. And tell you what, the Williams team are going to be ecstatic with this one. Third and fourth, they will take the lead of the constructors' standings. I'm without a question of that. Baki is down in sixth. Slash in seventh. Victor's going to be in here in 8th, Lakitu in 9th, Musi in 10th, Julio in 11th. I tell you what, I thought Marquinhos got a podium out of this one. He certainly isn't, because he's out of the race. And that, unfortunately for me, I've absolutely done him dirty there, haven't I, again?
Oh, it's so unfortunate that Marquico's out. You know, he was having such a great race, was going to be most likely in second, actually, or at least on the podium. And that means with that crash, that final lap crash, he is unfortunately not on the podium. But that does mean that Trappy Formula gets his first podium this season. Great to see that. And Williams gets some massively good points. Catterson, driver of the day from last to fourth. Great to see him up there. But it is this driver. Slimbo is the driver of the day, really. He has done absolutely everything. And he will take the win. He is the driver we're talking about. As Ferrari grab another win. It's back-to-back victories for Ferrari. As Mosey won in Miami. And now Slimbo wins in Belgium.
Yeah, that's all going to be quite good then. So, I mean, the Ferrari on the top step of that podium. The champagne well and truly sprayed, but that has been a strong day for the Ferrari team. He came from second. He really gained it from the fact the leader dropped it, and since then he's just rather controlled it. Yes, he lost the lead to Vanderberg, but that doesn't matter too much. He can lose the lead to someone. But he had a penalty, did Vanderberg. So all he needed to do is just stick within that 6 seconds, and he won the race. So it is Slimbo on first, Vanderberg in second, Trap Formula from 16th to third, Catterson from 18th to fourth, Sam Ferreira finishes in fifth, Baki in sixth, Slash out of Victor, Then comes Lakito, Mosey from Giuliano, Marquito, Kyle, Bass, Smalley, Baju, Root Gulliat, and Alex all out of this race.
Wow, what a race. Absolutely phenomenal here today in Belgium. A lot of drama. I think one of the biggest shocks for me was Smalley crashing out from the race, technically the race lead. But wow, that was incredible. So Slimbo is the winner of the Belgian Grand Prix, followed by Vandenberg and Trappy Formula. What a podium as well. And yeah, incredible race here in Belgium.
Yeah, indeed, most certainly. And if you are just tuning in, by the way, I want to say, make sure you hit the subscribe and the notification bell if you want to see more from PSGL. By the way, the next race is PCF1 on Wednesday at 7 PM BST, so don't forget to go and tune in to that one as well. So that is coming up soon in just a few days' time. But what an enthralling first race back for me in PSGL, eh?
Yeah, what a race. Perfect time for you to come back in PSGL, and I think that was a good opening race for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, it certainly is. Ups, down, drama, and I'm brought back an old favourite for once. I don't remember the last time I said, oh God, but there we go, it's back. So, there's if you haven't seen me for a while, there you go. So, that is that one, but I'll let you round it up.
Yeah, what a race. Absolutely phenomenal from everybody today. And I just want to say thank you so much, Evil Dragon, for joining us here in the commentary box. I cannot wait to be working with you. And awesome commentary, man. That was awesome. And I also want to say, viewers, thank you so much for joining us here in PSGL. Like Evil just mentioned, subscribe to PSGL and like the video if you have enjoyed it. And I think we'll be back for round 4, and I can't remember the next round. I have to look at it. Do you know what the next round is going to be?
It is Mexico.
Mexico.
Yes, Mexico.
So we'll be heading over to the U.S., well, that continent, we'll be heading to Central America as we're going to be heading to Mexico City for the Mexican Grand Prix coming up next for round 4. But like you mentioned, next up is the PCF1 division on Wednesday at 7 p.m. BST, so definitely go check that out, viewers. But yeah, that's been it. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Formula Jonah, that's been Evil Dragon, and we are signing off from the F5 PlayStation division here in PSGL. See you later.